So one thing that many people are wondering now is astral projection actually real? Is it proven? Is there anything to suggest that you can learn astral projection? And what is the evidence to suggest that astral projection is actually real? So in this video, we're going to be talking about whether astral projection is real or not, is there any proof, how you can prove it for yourself, and how many people around the world have actually had this experience of being able to leave their physical body in their astral body. So stick around, make sure to subscribe as well because we post weekly astral projection videos, and also check out our website AstralHQ.com. So the question, is astral projection real? Well, you have to understand a few basic things before you answer that question. Firstly, lucid dreaming is very similar to astral projection, and lucid dreaming has been proven in a lab. Lucid dreaming is the ability to become self-aware during your dreams and direct or control the dream. Now, this is very similar to astral projection, but in the same way, it's very different as well. You see, astral projection is the ability to actually separate from your physical body. It's a lot more difficult to do than lucid dreaming, and many people will go their entire lives never experiencing astral projection. The reason for that is that they either never try to learn, or they have such deep conditioning within their subconscious minds that they just can't fight against this social conditioning. We've been told our entire lives that things like astral projection are impossible. We've been conditioned to doubt these things ourselves without even trying to look into them, without researching them, and without even trying to understand how they work. This is where it gets a bit more detailed though. Astral projection is one of those things that can't be proven with physical 3D science. And the reason for that is that it's not operating in the 3D realm. The whole definition of astral projection is to be able to leave, to exit the physical realm and explore the astral realm. So if you've got astral projectors who are exiting the physical realm, then of course they can never be studied by physical 3D scientists in the physical world, because it's a different reality, it's a different dimension. And this is one of the most fundamental things that scientists fail to understand. They assume that just because they can touch and see something, that makes it real. But it was only very recently that we were able to even see or know that radio waves existed. Before then, we had no idea that these things were even real. And it's the same with astral projection. We're just not at the point yet where we have the scientific measurement tools to actually measure astral projection and study it in a lab. But that doesn't mean it's not real. Far from it. In fact, that just means we're not ready to study it yet. And if you look into the research, you'll find that millions of people all around the world and throughout history have experienced astral projection themselves, and they've been able to come back to the physical world and tell stories about it. These stories are documented through many different ancient civilizations all across time and all across the world, separated by continents, oceans, forests, and time. So to say astral projection is not real just because we don't have a scientific study about it is wildly ignorant of the evidence and the subjective stories that people all around the world are sharing. Beyond that, you can actually test it for yourself. Now, here's the difficult part. Astral projection is very difficult to learn, and if you've never done it before, it's very hard and can take a long time to actually have your first OBE. So for that reason, people who are doubting astral projection, people who don't think it's real, who then go and try and have an astral projection experience, they are going to find it very difficult to actually experience it for themselves, and that will only reinforce the idea that astral projection is not real even further. And this is where it gets tricky, because you have to believe that it's real and that it's possible before you're able to do it. It's entirely down to your beliefs. So if you've got people who are going out there and trying to astral project who have never done it before, and they're highly critical and they doubt that it's even possible, of course they're never going to experience it. And those are the people that are going to shout the loudest in forums and in online discussions about whether astral projection is real. They assume that just because they haven't done it, that it isn't real. I'd like to bring this back to my experiences with something called lucid dreaming. Now, before I had a lucid dream, I thought that the idea was absolute nonsense and it couldn't possibly be real because it sounded too good to be true. It sounded so different from what I knew to be real that I assumed it was fake. Then I actually had a lucid dream and everything changed, and I realised that of course it was real, I just hadn't experienced it yet. And this is one of the key considerations for astral projectors. You might be looking into this trying to astral project and trying to learn more about how it works. But if you're skeptical, if you doubt that it's possible, you're only going to hold yourself back, and then you're going to be one of those people who doesn't think it's real just because you didn't stick with it long enough to actually have the experience. So in a minute, I'm going to share how you can actually astral project faster and how you can avoid the mistakes that most beginners make. But beyond that, I just want to explain a bit more about whether astral projection could be real and more about how it works. You might be curious as to how it scientifically works, and although we don't understand completely, we have some idea about how the soul is involved with astral projection. So it's pretty obvious that something happens after we die. There is some form of intelligent creator. You only have to look around to realize that. The question is, how does the soul integrate with the physical body? And what happens when you die? Well, those questions we can't really answer accurately, but what we can say is that millions of people all around the world have had what's known as near-death experiences. A near-death experience is where you come so close to dying, or maybe you even actually die for a few seconds or minutes, and people report seeing anything from a white light, a tunnel, a shining orb. But most commonly, more commonly than anything else, people report being floating above their physical body and seeing themselves dead. This is one of the most common near-death experiences that people report, and it happens all around the world every single year. Not only that, but people report the exact same sensations, regardless of what they've heard before and regardless of what they believed about astral projection. Many people actually have near-death experiences and actually exit their physical bodies without even knowing astral projection is real, without even hearing about the idea of astral projection. You will find completely normal people who have no idea about anything spiritual will have a near-death experience, they'll come back to life in the physical reality, and they will accurately describe the exact same experience that an astral projector would have regularly. And this is what's so fascinating to me, and this really does sort of prove it to me. If you have people from all around the world who don't believe in astral projection, and they have these experiences by accident, unfortunately they have to wait until they have a near-death experience to actually have this experience themselves. But they have these experiences. That says to me that it is possible, it is real, and of course the whole point of this channel is I'm going to teach you how to do it. So like I said, here is how you can start astral projecting very quickly. So firstly, your belief is more important than anything else. If your belief is strong, then you will find it much easier to astral project, and it will take you far less time to do it. So you need to get your beliefs right, and not just your conscious beliefs, but also your subconscious beliefs. Your conditioning is very powerful, and if you are above the age of 20, you will have had years of social conditioning from people that don't believe in astral projection, from people that don't believe in spirituality even. So you need to start to dig up those beliefs and change them to be something more positive and empowering. You can start by just telling yourself astral projection is real. Spirituality is important. There is a life after death. The soul is connected to our physical body through the chakra system. These beliefs will really help you when you start to have these experiences and when you try and understand how they work. So that's the first thing, get your beliefs in order. Make sure you believe in astral projection. Secondly, try and do it only in the right time of day or night. Most people try and astral project when they first go to sleep, and although you can do that, it's a lot easier if you wait until the early hours of the morning. So try and astral project between the hours of 3 and 6 a.m. every single morning, and keep a journal so you can keep track of your progress. You need to be able to look back and see what went wrong and what went right. Once you can do that, then you can start experimenting with things like supplements, and one of the most powerful astral projection supplements I've ever tried is something called MindLab Pro. You can find this in the description. Basically, it's a cognitive enhancer, otherwise known as a nootropic, and it helps you get into the flow state during the day. The benefit is the ingredients are all natural, all vegan, and many of them contain acetylcholine boosting compounds like choline, and they really do help to get you into that flow state, and they really also help you to astral project a lot more frequently. So give it a try and see how you get on with MindLab Pro. The next thing is you need to use the right technique. Now, many people when they first try and astral project will use a technique like the rope technique or the handlebar technique, something like that. I would advise you to start with the more basic ones, just being aware of your astral body and trying to get to the vibrational state regularly. If you can get to the state where your body is vibrating, you are miles ahead of most people, and many people don't even experience that state. So the goal shouldn't be to try and leave your physical body just yet. Try and regularly get to the vibrational state every single night, or at least 3 or 4 times a week, before you try and exit the physical body. If you try and use the rope technique straight away, you're going to discourage yourself and you probably won't be able to do it. Now, like I've said in many other videos and articles, it is all about belief and there will be exceptions. There will be people who try this for the first time and manage to astral project without any practice and without any experience. They are the exceptions rather than the rules. So don't try and have an astral projection experience straight away. Instead, try and just vibrate your body, get to the vibrational stage regularly, and you can do that by doing the following techniques. So here's the technique to get to the vibrational state. Make sure the time is right, so between the hours of 3 and 6 a.m. Lay down on your back, don't move any muscles, and relax every single muscle in your body. This is really important, and many of us actually tense muscles without even realizing we're tensing them. So the most common places you might be tense is in your neck, your jaw, your throat, and your back. So make sure you relax those areas specifically, but also all of the muscles in your body need to be relaxed for this to work. Once you've done that for a few minutes, just keep laying there, keep your eyes closed, and just don't move anything. What you'll notice after a few minutes is the body will start to feel like there is a heavy weight being pressed down on it. What this is your body is starting to fall asleep, and at this point you need to keep your mind awake. You can do this by repeating a mantra like I will astral project, and if you do this very often, you will get much better at doing it. So after a while you'll enter the vibrational state, your body will start to hum and vibrate, you might feel like there's a weight being pressed down on your chest. This is normal. This can sometimes lead to sleep paralysis, don't worry if it does. And if you do experience sleep paralysis, just remind yourself that it's not real and nothing there can harm you. So once you've reached the vibrational state, you will very soon exit the physical body. You will have an astral projection experience and you will be in the astral realm. Now, I don't want to give too much away in this video because this isn't really a tutorial on how to astral project. I do have another video about that, so check out my channel or click on the links below. But hopefully this video has explained enough about whether astral projection is real for you to want to get started. So like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I post weekly astral projection videos. Check out my other videos, leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video.